Heyo, what's good everybody? Hope you are doing fantastically, and yeah, I know it's been a while, so apologies as usual for not being around that much. I've been super busy and I'd love to do it full time, all that jazz, but I can't. For now, I'll do what I can when I can, and today it will be the banner for Aerith and Vincent. Aerith gets Citric Dress, where she has Magic Ward and Magic Ability Mastery. So Magic Ward is HP 5% and Magic Defense 15%. Magic Ability Mastery is like Magic Ability Potency, but it is separate, so it's stackable. Vincent's formal attire has pretty much the same thing. So taking a look at Magic Ward, it is basically equivalent to level 1 boost HP and level 2 Magic Defense. So again, I'm still not sure. I'm still sort of undecided on the fence about these new Sun's Favor, Magic Ward R abilities. Yeah, I don't know if they're better than just the single boost HP or boost physical attack or whatever. You let me know in the comments below what you think. And while you're there, drop a like and subscribe. So Aerith's weapon is Citric Wand. It is a pretty average weapon overall. It's got a nice buff debuff extension, dedicated R ability, and it increases ice damage for an ally, and if her HP is 50% or more, it increases their magic attack as well. So a pretty cool weapon. Vincent's weapon is Hugin Munin, and I'm going to be just referring to it as Vincent's weapon because that is a mouthful. It has a very nice magic attack stat. It is very magic focused, as you can see by the R abilities, and it is a 1300% magical non-elemental weapon, so very similar to a bunch of weapons that we actually have. For Aerith's weapon, I really couldn't find much that's too similar to it, so I just decided to compare it to Feathered Gloves. So obviously the Citric Wand's primary stat is its heal, whereas the Feathered Gloves is magic attack. Feathered Gloves has a total of 101 R ability points with an emphasis on the R1 boost attack, whereas Citric Wand has 83 total points with an emphasis on buff debuff. They have pretty much identical support materia, and the command ability is sort of where it's different. They both raise a certain damage, so ice damage for Citric Wand and water damage for Feathered Gloves. Except the Feathered Gloves is only for Tifa, whereas the Citric Wand can do it to any ally. Other than that, the Citric Wand raises magic attack if its HP is 50% or more, and the Feathered Gloves lowers the enemy's magic defense and also does damage. So all in all, you could argue that the Feathered Gloves is actually just better. The only thing that the Citric Wand really has going for it is that it can actually target any ally except for rather than just herself, should I say. For weapon synergies, usually I only do this comparison with the character's own existing weapons. This time I've put a few other weapons, and I'm not going to make a habit of that because I can't compare the synergies of every new weapon to all of the weapons in the game. But for this weapon, because it targets an ally, any magical ice DPS is going to have good synergy with this. So Sephiroth's Edged Wings, Cloud's Enhanced Sword, the Blue Megaphone, Absolute Royal, Cath Plug, all of these kind of weapons. And then of course, because of the buff debuff, R2, excuse me, the dedicated R2 for buff debuff, her buff debuff weapons are going to benefit as well. So Guard Stick, Full Metal Staff, Sun Umbrella, Mithril Rod. And then the best synergies are with Silver Staff, because obviously it does ice DPS, so the ice DPS is going to be stronger from the Citric Wand, and the magic attack is going to be stronger. This is even more pronounced with Snowflake, because you get the same stronger ice DPS, stronger magic attack for the Snowflake ability, and you also get magic defense down, and you max out your boost magic attack, so level 7. And then Kimura Wand is also a pretty good synergy with this weapon because you get an AoE physical attack buff, an AoE magic defense buff, the single target ice buff, and the single target magic buff from each of the two weapons. And with them combined, you max out your buff debuff extension at level 7. So all of these buffs are going to last that much longer. So that is a pretty nice synergy for a strong buffing support character. For sub-weapon value, It's pretty straightforward. It's got good R ability points. It is a fantastic sub-weapon for buffing and debuffing, obviously because of the 52 buff debuff extension points, and it's a decent sub-weapon for magic as well. Vincent's weapon, obviously, as I mentioned, it is in a similar category to a lot of these weapons we should know by now, like Zidane's sword, Tifa's guard gloves, and ceremonial sword, all of these powerful non-elemental weapons. And I'll be trying to quickly compare it to these. So let's take a look. So the primary stat of Vincent's weapon is pretty much higher than all of these weapons. So it's higher than Zidane's sword. It has slightly more total R ability points, but I prefer the spread on Zidane's sword. I prefer the boost physical ability potency having more points than just the boost physical attack or boost magic attack. And then for support materia, it has an attack boost for ice, which I prefer over the second physical attack boost. And then the command abilities are pretty much exactly the same, except Vincent raises his limit gauge potency. Similar thing here with the guard gloves. You can see the primary stats of Vincent's wins out once again, and it has more total points, but the spread on the gloves is better, so more physical ability potency is better in my opinion. And then they have pretty much the same support materia, and again the same command abilities, except that Vincent's gives him the limit gauge charge. Ceremonial sword is obviously a little different, but the primary stat of Vincent's weapon is still better, and same kind of scenario with the R ability points. I prefer the other weapons, or in this case ceremonial swords, R ability points. And then of course Vincent's weapon has the attack boost for ice, which as mentioned I prefer over the second physical attack. And then Zack's ceremonial sword obviously does more damage and raises his physical attack, so that makes the command ability a bit better. But that does come at the cost of 5 ATB, whereas Vincent's only costs 4 ATB. So, existing weapon synergies. There's a little bit of synergy with this weapon and the S1976, because you get maxed out boost magic attack, level 7. And then of course, you can hit hard with this weapon, and you can debuff the enemy's physical and magic attack with the S1976C. And then the weapons that have even better synergy are the Sword Off GS, because you get boost magic ability potency level 7. And then you also get the magic attack buff, which is going to make the... I can't do the name. This latest weapon hits even harder. And then finally, double stem E, you get maxed out boost magic ability potency and boost magic attack, and then you get that AoE magic attack that has a chance to poison. So those are pretty good synergies. Sub-weapon value, this also has great sub-weapon value for a magic DPS. So if you have a magic DPS that doesn't really want to equip a lot of boost magic attack weapons, then you can pop this in the sub-weapons and get quite a few points. So overall, Aaaaand's weapon is a decent weapon. It has the dedicated buff debuff, which is nice. It has a standard 83 total R ability points, which is good. And it is unique because it has elemental damage boost for an ally rather than just for herself. So it's a strong support for magic ice DPS, and of course great sub-weapon for buff debuff, and it has 3 ATB. Vincent's weapon is of course a very good weapon. It actually has the highest magic attack stat in the game now, and it's standard R88 total ability points, which is good. It also is a great sub-weapon for magic DPS as mentioned, and it is a non-limited weapon that is stronger, or as strong if not stronger, than many of the limited weapons in the game. So that is definitely something to mention. But let's just slow our rolls a bit, let's stop, let's wait, because there's something we need to consider before going on. And that is, if you take a look at this Google excerpt, you can see that the game was released in 7 September 2023, so that was a year ago and a month away. So that means that the first year anniversary is going to be this year around September. And because of that, that is really needs to be your main, decision-making point when deciding to pull on this banner or any future banners before the anniversary, because for the most part with these kind of games, the first or each year anniversary, there's always something really good that drops. So you got to consider, especially if you're a free-to-play player, of maybe just saving for the anniversary instead. I myself love Vincent and have skipped his banner because I'm trying to save for this anniversary. So that is probably your biggest thing you need to think about. With that in mind, reasons to pull for Aaaaand's weapon is if you have a powerful magical ice DPS that you want to make even stronger, then it's a good weapon to go for. or if you just want a good buff debuff sub-weapon. And then for Vincent's weapon, it's obviously if you want a powerful weapon for Vincent, or if you somehow don't have a dedicated magic attack sub-weapon, so a high magic attack R ability. And then also, as mentioned, if you already have a high overboosted Sword Off GS or double stem E, then this weapon's going to combo pretty nicely with that. So those are the main reasons to pull for this weapon, in my opinion. And yeah, final thoughts for Aaaaand's weapon. Honestly, in my opinion, it's not a very good weapon. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it's not crazy. It does one thing, but it does it well. So it raises ice damage and possibly magic attack, depending on your HP. It is, of course, a great buff debuff sub-weapon. So, you know, I've mentioned that a few times. That is always nice to have for any buffing or debuffing character. And what it does is unique for now, because as far as, if I'm not wrong, then all of the actual elemental damage buffing weapons so far have been for the character itself, so boosts self. Whereas this one, you can actually target any magical ice DPS you want. So that is actually unique, but I say for now because I'm pretty sure weapons like this are going to be released in the near future. In my opinion, I would prioritize the anniversary because there's probably going to be something really cool coming with the anniversary. Similarly, with Vincent's weapon, it is a powerful weapon that actually feels like a bit of a bait to me. I say that because one, it's got the highest magic attack stat in the game. It's a really strong weapon, but it feels like a bit of a bait because the anniversary is around the corner and this is a very appealing weapon to go for. In the end of the day, if you love Vincent and you have to have his weapons, you're probably better off pulling for the Limit Break banner, because that is actually a limited weapon and the outfit on that banner is better as well, and it's limited. So in general, that banner is actually just better. This banner, another reason why I say it feels like a bait is because this weapon is not limited. So you can pick it up on your wish list or with tickets later down the line. At the end of the day, it's still a good weapon to pull to combo with the high overboosted weapons that I mentioned. So Sword of GS and double stem E. But again, I would prioritize the anniversary because, yeah, it's probably going to be very good. I mean, obviously, if you can afford to pull for this and the anniversary, if you're a bit of a whale, then go for it. But in the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. I'm saving for the anniversary. As much as I love Vincent, I'm skipping all the banners until the anniversary because I'm really low on gems myself. And obviously, we don't know what's coming in the anniversary. Maybe it's nothing special, but, you know, for the most part, all of these kind of gacha games have always had really good stuff on the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year anniversaries. So I would say this is a skip and wait for that. Thank you as always for watching, and I will try my best to do more videos in the future. See ya.